think they kicked our rear ends physically, which hopefully would be good for us and incite some changes in mindset, which will incite some changes in what we're doing physically, which hopefully will lead to some different results in physical plays. You write stuff up on the board before the game, you're gonna concentrate on this, or, you know, and then you don't do that well at all in the game. So what's in words? What's in a phrase that I write on the board, or what's in an inspirational pregame speech to come out and just not compete physically? And so I thought that was really the game. I mean, we didn't play great as far as shooting. The numbers would suggest that. Probably one of our worst offensive performances. Not taking any credit away from them, but also had some shots, especially in the second half, that the guys can make and generally have made. But holy smokes, man, you're just not going to win many games. Maybe it's a lesson we need to learn right now. But you're not going to win many games if, from a competitive standpoint, you don't have it within you to ratchet things up when that's called for.
Is that speaking to the rebounding margin, or is that partially from a fundamental standpoint, boxing out and such?
You know, yeah, it's a combination. I mean, we talk a lot about fundamentals and technique. Okay. At the end of the day, your desired result is to get the ball when they miss, and so I'm not really that interested in your technique. Now, over the years, this particular blockout technique has seemed to work for most of the guys, but if you want to create some sort of new thing that works, I'm so down for that. But so, you know, some of it's that, some of it's just, you know, just in the face of imminent friction, just not responding in the way that I would respond personally. But we're going to have to make that decision, because that's what's every game at this level is going to involve a good dose of that. The vast majority of your games are anyway. But yeah, I'd say the rebounding, that's where it was most tangible and shows itself the most in second chance points and offensive rebounds, and just, you know, rebounding numbers in general. We're just not good. There's no way to describe or to say it any better than that. They just weren't good.
What kind of adjustments can you make, or did you make in game when Butler's winning the rebound battle early on? I know you brought in Kreese and Jordan, I think, to probably help with that, right?
Yeah, we played, you know, those positions have been somewhat of a revolving door this year, and may continue to be until one or two guys establish that here's what you can rely upon me for, and that if that's only shooting, then on the days you shoot well, you're going to be in there, and the days that you don't shoot well, you're not going to be in there as much. That's pretty simple. But I think it's easier, more predictable to say you can rely on me because I make physical blockouts. I don't win every single one of them, but you're never going to look up and see the shot go up and I didn't make a really good blockout. You can rely on me for all these effort and things that have to do with intent. But certainly in this game, that was the impetus for both of those guys going in there. Just more size and physicality. I thought they were attacking the rim hard, even with some of their bigs, and getting some things to happen. So Kreese is our most massive guy, so I thought that would work to help. And those guys played pretty well relative to the other group tonight, and so that was the real reason why we tried to make that move.
Coach, Eli Ellis kind of had like a slow start in the first half. In the second half, he had 12 points and 3 steals. Just kind of talk about what kind of a difference maker he's been for your team this far this season.
Yeah, for a young guy, he's it all boils down. I want to be very clear. It all boils down to competitiveness. It all boils down to competitiveness. You can make certain things happen, whether you play well and make shots how you adjust to things, how you adjust to how aggressive a guy is, how you adjust to how the referees are calling the game, it all boils down to competitiveness, and he has elite competitiveness. That doesn't make the ball go in, I don't think, except for I also can't say it doesn't make the ball go in for him. You know, it's a competitive guy, and so I've always been impressed with that with him, particularly for a young person, for a young player. And so, you know, obviously we're really high on him. He's done a really good job for us this year. He's got tremendous spirit and energy when he plays, and so those are the things that we would like to rely upon him to bring to our team. And in the days he, you know, plays really well or nutmegs a guy in the game, then, you know, great. But that's not the base of who he is as a player. He's a good basketball player. That's a tremendous competitor, and I think that's really where it starts for him in his successes in basketball.
Bit of
Tight rims, yes or no, and then, you know, how much does that play into the shooting percentage, and does that alter kind of in-game strategy in terms of taking deep shots versus going inside?
Yeah, I mean, I think the rims are tight, and I can say that because I got my share of jump shots up, so I think the rims are tight. I mean, relative to other ones, that's a straightforward statement, not critical of anybody. I think the rims are tight. So, you know, you gotta be a little more pure when you shoot the thing. But sure, as a team that has this season been a skilled team from behind the three-point line and have gotten a good portion of what we do offensively from behind the three-point line, sure, in theory, that affects us probably a little more disproportionately than other people, but there's also more offensive rebounding opportunities when it's in there. But we did try to go inside. You know, we ran a couple of sets to go to creased on one-on-one situations inside. Elijah got the ball one-on-one inside the post. I mean, I think anybody who knows me knows, like, I'm not a huge believer in a team that has no source of offense that happens in the painted area or the block, or particularly the block for me. But so we've done some stuff. We ran some guys down there. Mike got down there even. Eli was down there once again. So you know, it was tough sledding that way. We didn't get paid off when we got the ball down there, but we made a concerted effort to try to get, you know, around the basket a little bit and get some things to happen. But let's make no mistake about it, though. On the days that you play that way from a shooting percentage standpoint, I mean, it's just hard to count on getting 85 points in a game in a college basketball game against a team that plays hard defensively. It's just hard to rely on that. It's hard. I hope it happens, but it's hard to rely on that. You got at the end of the day, find a way to get a team to miss, and then that possession is not over until you get the ball. And so that's where our failures really today were most glaring to me.
bit of a tough day shooting for Miles. Seems like throughout the season so far he's missed some shots that he would normally hit. What are you seeing from him right now, and how much do you continue to just rely on him, you know, through the tough times?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a good question. Miles has been through some battles. He's helped us win some tough games, and he's been around. He's got tremendous leadership qualities and energy and a spirit that's great. And so, but I remember Klay Thompson a few years ago, like, started the year off with some sort of crazy bad three-point percentage, which that was the day that I said, okay, anyone can start the season off poorly. So Miles is a maniacal worker. If you've ever been around him at all, you know that. And so he'll find his way through it. But yeah, he brings some other things to the table. Generally, what his challenge would be is that he can't let any shortcomings and failures, not failures, but struggles, I should say, in terms of shooting, bleed into any other aspects of his game. And he's got to continue to try to be a good defender that stays in front of the ball, that knows our rules and talks and communicates, that is uplifting with his words and to his teammates, understands the general landscape of what we're trying to get done offensively, be a good cutter, initiate offense by way of pass. Like, he still needs to do those things, and as long as he can do those things, he's allowed to shoot the ball poorly and still play. a significant amount. But when it starts to bleed over, which happens to young people, into other parts of your game, well then, you know, we need to take a little breather and you know, potentially take a look at mixing some things up.
What's the point of emphasis for your guard room? Obviously, the three guys who shot the most on the team today were the guards, Mike, Eli, and Michi. What do you tell them, especially going into another big game on Sunday where you got to rebound pretty quick?
Yeah. You know, we'll address the team generally. I mean, we've tried to take what the other team gives us as far as our offense goes, and you know, if you're switching a lot of stuff and we think we can get a matchup inside in the post, if you're putting your fives on your perimeter guys, which they were doing some, so we had a couple of designed rim attacks by a couple of those guys, particularly Michi and I think even Eli, were a couple of designed drives, but those guys just need to. I don't think they care if they shoot a bunch or don't shoot that much. That's a good thing to have. So, you know, keep trying to just do their thing, play well. Got to rebound. Also, this group is going to need them to rebound some. But we'll just address the team generally. I think we got stagnant a little bit. I will say that about our perimeter guys. I noticed we got stagnant a little bit. It can happen when the ball's not moving as much and they're being physical. We're not able to get some things done, and so we watch the ball a little bit more than what I would have liked. So hopefully they'll just get back to the drawing board on that and be good screeners and cutters, and then when an opportunity presents itself to them, those guys, they never, any of our guys, but they never turn down an opportunity that presents itself to them to make a play for themselves or for one another.
Last question, John.
No Polk in the second half, just didn't like what you saw in the first, or something different?
Nothing other than just coaching a game. That's just the way it worked out that game, you know. Again, you're not. Maybe maybe this is unfair to him, but maybe I had a bad taste in my mouth on the last play of the first half, where his man gets by him and tips it in at the buzzer, right? In a game that at that point we're giving up a lot of offensive rebounds. He's not the only one. Trust me on that. This in no way, shape, or form did the outcome of this game happen because his rebounding and blockout transgressions, you know, and so maybe to some degree he was a victim of that, but also as you're in the moment and you see this happening, you're going to try to address it with people that you most likely believe might get the job done that way. Again, if you're getting driven a lot, you're not going to say, hey, let's make this move for offense when we can't stop the drive. Or, you know, that's not me anyway. Some people may, but I normally try to address the issues that are out there, and rebounding was one of them. And so we went with some guys that, you know, we're trying to get it figured out that way. But also we didn't shoot the ball great, so there was, you know, probably some merit to doing it that way. It's just the way it worked out in this particular game. Gave some older guys a chance to respond, and, you know, some guys did to some degree, some guys really didn't. And so, you know, we'll learn from that and move forward.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.